And they got the corkscrew running, so that's something. It has rained all morning, and as it turned out, I got here just shortly after it stopped raining, so the park was probably dead. It opened at 11, so for 2 hours, there's probably hardly anybody here, probably hardly any rides running. Now they got corkscrew going, and this is a classic corkscrew, no vertical loop in it. And as long as I can get 2 credits here, I will hit coaster number 300 on this at this park. So planning that to be Shivering Timbers for sure. And they might be slow in getting everything up and running, but I'm hoping that they at least get them up and running. But Michigan's Adventure, you know, everyone kind of looks down on this park in the Cedar Fair chain, neglected. I'm hoping to check out the new trash can that they got this year as a new addition for 2019. I think that's it. I think that's the new trash can for 2019. There you go. All right, I've experienced the new addition for 2019. All right, coaster number 299, Wolverine Wildcat. It's a Din wooden coaster. It's pretty rough. It hurt. That, like, one point it really slammed my side, and that part really hurt. But you could tell there is one section, there's a double down that has been retracked, and that section is so smooth and wonderful, and then you go right back to the jackhammering madness. So yeah, I might try to get in the front later, but oh boy, that was a rough ride. Now I'm looking to CCI to save the day. Shivering Timbers. And this will be number 300. Gotta say, I love the entry area here. Looks really pretty. Alright, I just got coaster credit number 300 on Shivering Timbers. That was definitely a great ride. This, I can tell right away, is a top 10 wooden coaster for me, for sure. See, I got El Toro number 1. What's next? Outlaw Run, Goliath, Prowler, Beast, Mystic Timbers. Yeah, I would say I put this right behind Mystic Timbers. Possibly even ahead of it, I don't know. It is a long ride, too. I had timed it out. It's over 1 minute 20 seconds from the drop to the brakes. And it is just airtime hill after airtime hill. And it's a smooth ride. You don't have that jackhammering. It's not glossy smooth, not perfectly smooth like you'll get with something like Goliath at Great America. But yeah, now waiting for it to come back to the helix. This will take a while, because it goes way out there, it comes way back. Love the laterals. I was a little bit skeptical of CCI as a wood coaster manufacturer after my first experience with their coasters with the Boss. But ever since then, all the rest have been really good. You know, Ghost Rider was retracked by GCI, but it was originally a CCI. And whatever that one is at Lake Compounce, Boulder Dash, that's a CCI, and that was really good. I hear them coming back finally. Bunch of airtime hills, you got some laterals in there, then you got this nice helix. It is a pretty setup with the lake in the middle. Very short ride, but the model was an important one in coaster history. Not this exact coaster, but the exact model that went to Knott's Berry Farm and now is at Silverwood. First successful inversions. So this is a clone of that one. Just rode Zach's Zoomer. It's another one of these small family wooden coasters. I really like these. These are kind of fun. There's not much to them. They're not very tall or fast. And there's not really much of any airtime on it. Might get a little bit. And the thing is that the restraints, the lap bar sits so high that if you do get a little bit of airtime, you're really going to feel it. There are seat belts though. Just rode Big Dipper. They don't run this in the rain. But once the rain was clear, they worked on it, got it open. It's a Chance Junior coaster. It's actually pretty good for a little coaster. They got a little airtime hill here. You actually catch some air on that. Not really that jerky. Maybe one little moment. But Chance, they just make good rides all around. And that airtime bump right there, in the front at least, gave some air. And they let you ride, even if you don't have a kid with you. So that's always a plus. So Michigan's Adventure, big thumbs up for me on that one. There goes my favorite coaster type, the Vekoma SLC. It's definitely pretty out here. Look out over the lake. Shivering Timbers is not that one. It's off in the distance. Kind of goes away from the park and along the parking lot. You got the water park here. It is not open today. It's actually starting to warm up a little bit. It was definitely jacket weather there for a while. Now the sun's out. It's starting to feel nice out here. I got a mini golf over here. Don't know if that's an extra charge or not. You can see where it was retracked. There is a pre-lift section in a tunnel. That was kind of cool. Didn't know that was coming. But yeah, just jackhammers throughout these drops. At the bottom of the drops, I mean, you're just bouncing and jackhammering like crazy. And then all of a sudden, it is like glossy smooth with that double down. And then back to the horrible jackhammering. So I'd say if Michigan's Adventure is your home park, it's a pretty good one. And there's certainly better ones, of course. It's not top tier. Hey, it's a decent park. Got a few rides here. Shivering Timbers, certainly a good one. Got a seasonal water park. Of course, this is all coming from somebody who does not have a home park. So, what can I say? Anything's better than nothing. Just rode Thunderhawk, the Vekoma SLC. And yeah, my ears are hurting a bit. but I don't have a headache. The restraints are soft, but it's weird how different SLCs, the restraints are positioned differently. These, it was my ears that was hitting up against the padding on the sides. So yeah, it doesn't give me a headache or anything like that, so it's not like it's something that's going to ruin your day. But it's uncomfortable on the ears. It does not ride as smooth as Twisted Typhoon or Gauntlet. In fact, this is my 5th SLC on this trip, and none of the 5 have ridden as smooth as Twisted Typhoon or Gauntlet. So, I can understand why people would dislike it, but it's not terrible. And Thunder Rapids is where the pathway dead ends. If only they could connect it. They could just connect the pathway. You gotta walk a long way to get to the SLC. And that's the only thing to do, really, unless you want to do this thing.
To the right is the Shivering Timbers, the world classic with the roller coaster, one of the largest roller coasters at Michigan Adventure. It has a drop of 125 feet, going around at 65 miles.
Okay, it's interesting to note. Hydro Blaster. Right here along the walk along the lake. This is not a part of the water park. I thought for sure this is a water park ride, but no. This is, even though the water park's closed, this thing's open. You can ride this. You ride on a raft. And boy, it would be cold to ride on that. At least the sun's out. That would make it better, but still, that would be a cold ride. But yeah, that's not considered a part of the water park. So it's open. So if you're here one time when the water park is not open, that one may or may not be open. It is today, but I don't know if they would have that open when it's really cold. I got to ride Mad Mouse. They were late in opening it, but that's because of the rain. Whenever it rains, the Wild Mouse coasters have a hard time running. So not only did it have to stop raining, it had to dry out some. And it did that, and it's open. Okay, updated opinion on Wolverine Wildcat. This is actually really good. You just gotta ride it in the right row. This is another one of those designs with the 3 cars, or I mean the 3 rows per car. Ride in the middle row of a particular car. There are 4 cars, 12 rows. Ride in the middle row of any given car, and you'll get a good ride. You ride in the back or front of any given car, it's going to be jackhammering nightmare. Night and day difference. So on this classic corkscrew, grab the restraints, lean your head forward. You won't get any head banging or jaw banging or anything. Perfectly fine, just like with all the aero loopers. And I do recommend the back because of this drop. You get some good airtime on this drop in the back row. And it is not a rough ride, really. Much better than the corkscrew that is at Great Escape. I don't know what was wrong with the one at Great Escape. It was rougher than most. At least in the back it was. The front was, okay. Shivering Timbers, definitely second to last row is what I recommend on this. A lot better airtime in the back than in the front, and in an odd way, it actually kind of seems smoother. I think it's better than the very back row too, the second to last row. So second to last row on Shivering Timbers, Wildcat, I say row 2. So go for row 2 instead of the second to last. I did second to last, the airtime was not nearly as good as row 2. So Wolverine Wildcat row 2, Shivering Timbers, next to last row for the best airtime. And I counted 17 airtime moments on Shivering Timbers in the back. I'm going to count Wildcat. I think actually Wildcat had about as much. It had like, I counted it last time, that's right, I got about 16 or 17. It's more of a twister layout, while Shivering Timbers is an out and back. We got Larat Nost, last ride of the night on Shivering Timbers. I was in the next to last row, my favorite row on this. Great airtime. So coaster credit number 300 definitely did not disappoint. Lived up to exceeded my expectations for sure. And then Michigan's Adventure for sure exceeded my expectations by quite a bit. I got here at 1:30, right after the rain had ended. So I was here for 5.5 hours, got over 20 rides in. And they opened up, they got all coasters open. And I was able to get at least one ride in on all of them. Now, of course, once I got all that done, then I just stayed in here by Shivering Timbers and the Wildcat. Wolverine Wildcat. They're right here next to each other, so you can just go back and forth all day. So, 14 days, 12 new parks, 85 new coaster credits. So definitely been very successful. I am excluding those first 2 days where I had the one new coaster credit at Kentucky Kingdom and all the re-rides on Kings Island. So, one more park to go, 5 credits at Indiana Beach. But I was really impressed with Michigan's Adventure. It gets ragged on, it gets joked about, and I know a lot of that is just done in good humor, not anything mean, not anything serious about it. Well, maybe a little bit, but for the most part, it's just joking. Still, I say I was pretty impressed with Michigan's Adventure. For what I was expecting, it definitely exceeded my expectations. 2 awesome wood coasters. Shivering Timbers ends up being my 300th coaster credit. That will always be special to me because of that. And I ended up getting 9 rides on it. Got 6 rides on Wolverine Wildcat. Got at least 1 ride in on every single coaster. So, successful day at Michigan's Adventure. Very happy with this park. In fact, I would say, excluding the major parks like Canada's Wonderland, Great Adventure, New England, this might be my favorite on the trip. Even over Great Escape and Darien Lake, which I was also very impressed with. And one final thing of note about Michigan's Adventure is that it feels like it's set out in the middle of nowhere. It isn't really. Muskegon is pretty close, but it's far enough outside of the city that when you are up on top of the roller coasters, you look around, all you see is trees. Other than what's in the amusement park, all you're going to see is the trees. So it really does feel like you're kind of out in the woods. That you're just driving around amidst trees in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden here's an amusement park with big coasters. I thought that was a pretty neat aspect about it. I think that's better than having it like right in the middle of a city or in the middle of a suburb where you look out and you just see the suburb. And they have lakeside setting in the park as well, which does create for some cool visuals, especially on Wolverine Wildcat. Obviously, you see some homes as you're driving by, but you don't see them whenever you're on top of the coaster. You just see the trees.